my trip to Mobile, Alabama, and my final thoughts and words on the man we call Born2Mak, Greg Wegener, right here on this episode of Cena's Corner.
Cena's Corner.
Alright guys, what's happening? Alright, for those of you guys who don't know, from the 8th to the 15th, I went to Mobile, Alabama to visit Greg Wegener's family and meet them for the first time, and just to overall get to know and learn a little bit more about the person that we call Born2Mak. Now this trip happened because of a lot of things. First of all, the first reason that it happened was because I have been in direct contact with his sister Kelly ever since his death. And we hit it off really well, and we got to talking, and then his mother joined Facebook, and I got talking to her, and I really wanted to go out and to meet them and to give them some comfort and to kind of wrap my arms around them, not only for myself, but for the rest of the caring community who may not be able to make such a trip. The other one is because I wanted to get to know exactly who Greg Wegener was. Ever since his death, there's been a lot of evil, bad comments that has been left. I know I have felt the sting of things that he has done in the past, so I felt like it was my job, or I wanted to know personally exactly how he was raised, where he came from, so that I can make my own determination and come back and give you guys a full report on that. First of all, let me say it was very good to be home. For those of you guys who do not know, I am a Southern boy. I was born and raised partially in Waycross, Georgia. And of course, I had to go through my home state of birth to get to Mobile, Alabama, which is through Atlanta, Georgia. So it was really good to be home in the South, you know, to see stores like Winn-Dixie and to see signs that says that they sell fried bologna sandwiches for breakfast. You can only get this kind of stuff in the South. For those of you guys who don't realize how far it is for me to go from here to Mobile, is about a 2,300 mile, a little bit over 2,300 miles one way. So it takes a little bit over 6.5 hours to fly, and that's with one stopover into Mobile. So let's talk a little bit about what I learned and the surrealness of this trip. Like I said, I got to go and I got to meet all of Greg's family. So his father, mother, his sister, his nephews, nieces. It was a good trip. What I wanted to know, I actually found out, which is what kind of person was Greg. Being from the South, I know exactly how us Southern people are raised. Your children say yes ma'am and no ma'am, yes sir and no sir. There is no what's and here's and all this kind of stuff that you have kids being raised with now. I was called Mr. David by Kelly's kids the whole entire time that I was there. This is just how things are in the South. So if the things in the South is like this, could Greg really be this bad of a person that we have seen portrayed before? The answer I'm going to tell you is unequivocally no. Truth of the matter is that Greg was a very loving and caring person, and he was loved by many people. To be perfectly honest with you, there was so much love in that house that it was very surreal. You could feel it. So through the course of my trip, I got to sit down with his mother and his sister, and we got to talk about Greg. We got to talk about how, graduating. Got to find out that Greg is an avid fisherman. He loves to fish. Him and his father went fishing all the time. This was his passion. I was asked if I would like to go and see his room. Let me tell you guys something right here, right now. I think this is the most surreal experience of my whole entire trip, was to actually be in the space where Greg lived and did most of his stuff that we knew him for, which was gaming. His computer desk was there, and where he did his Xbox videos. When you walk into this room, you could feel the presence of Greg, the real presence of Greg. You could feel the warmth that he was. You can feel the caring person that he was. You could feel that he was the jokester. He always had a smile on his face. And for those of you guys who don't know, Greg was a very big guy. Probably maybe a little shorter than I am. But the fact of the matter is, we had things in common. He was a black belt in martial arts. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. So the thing is you could feel everything. Every time I sit down, like I did on Sunday, and I watch a game that has Tim Tebow in it, my mind always flashes to Greg. If you guys don't know, Greg's favorite college team is the Florida Gators. Of course, Tim Tebow was the quarterback for the Florida Gators, and now he plays for the Denver Broncos, and he actually started for the Broncos on Sunday's game. Well, on his chair, when you walked in, there was a Tim Tebow jersey, authentic Tim Tebow jersey that he wore or had on the back of his chair all the time, along with various articles. It was really hard kind of to go in there because it was the last place that he was in the condition that they had to leave the room after he was moved. It is still, his mother is still not with it right now, which you can expect that. His sister and his cousins or sister and nieces and nephews are still very much in grief over the situation, which you can believe, which you can understand that. I don't really know a lot to say. I want to come and tell you guys that the truth of the matter is that yes, Greg had his demons, and I don't want you guys to think for any shape of the imagination, for any moment that his family sat down with me and told me that Greg was perfect. His family never told me that. His family was very candid with me and told me some problems that he had. But I can tell you this, is that when he passed, Greg was on his way to get better. I will say this, everybody wants to speculate that it was suicide. From getting to go there and know this family and to find out everything that surrounded his death, which I'm not going to put that on video. That is something for his wife, for his family to do if they wish to do that. I'm not going to give you the details that I was told because that's not important, but I am going to tell you that there is no way, unequivocally no way, Greg killed himself. So this suicide conspiracy, you guys need to throw that completely out. Greg's life was actually on the upswing at the time that he passed. Some people that came back into his life that he really wanted there, he was actually getting help for some of the things he needed help with, and there's no way he killed himself. So before I left the house, if you guys don't know, Greg was cremated, and his mother gave me the opportunity and asked me if I'd like to spend a few moments with Greg, which I got to go into a private space, and I got to spend a few moments with him. I just told him that I had made this trip. If you guys never knew this, since everybody wants to floor around and say me and Greg hate each other, we was arch enemies and the whole nine. Like I said, I talked to Greg about 6 months, maybe a little less than that, before he passed. And we always talked about getting together, that I would come out to Mobile, Alabama sometime, and that I would meet him. The ironic thing is that trip was always planned around the time that I went now, which would be in the fall or the winter, in October, to go see him. I felt that I still wanted to honor that wish, or that I still wanted to honor that trip that we had planned. I wish I could have made that trip when he was still here and when he was still alive, but for whatever reason, that was not able to happen. But in any case, I did get to go, and I did get to go make this trip, and I did get to go visit Greg's family. So I guess in closing, I'm going to tell you guys this. And I guess I'm going to say this as serious as I possibly can. There's been a lot of things on the internet that has been done to me in the course of the 3.5 years that I've been doing Cena's Corner. And a lot of you guys watching this video right now is the core of that. I've been made fun of. I've been called names. My family's been exploited. I've had pizzas sent to my house. I almost went to jail for that because of $4,000 worth of pies came here, and I had to convince not only my local sheriff's department and the local prosecutor, but also Domino's and Pizza Hut that I really didn't order these pizzas. That's just a few of the things. The fact of the matter is that these are people that we call internet trolls. These are people that are just evil. For no uncertain reason, they just want to be mean. They want to cause harm, and they know exactly what they're doing. I realize that most trolls, as they put out there now, ends up committing suicide. But the one thing I'm going to tell you is, in my personal opinion, from what I know, where I've sat, what I've listened to, what I've experienced from the 8th to the 15th, is that Greg Wegener was anything but a troll. He just got into some bad company. And I know some of you watching this right now. He got into some bad company that surrounded him and wanted to label him that. To be a troll, you have to have an evil bone in your body. There's got to be something wrong with you that's not a chemical imbalance or something that you took to make you act stupid. You just have a genuine mean spirit in your soul and your body, and you want to cause everybody grief and havoc. That was not Greg. Greg had issues why he did what he did. A lot of you guys already said that you know, and you guys put it on there, so I put it out there. Everybody knew that Greg had a little bit of a problem with alcohol and a little bit of a problem with Xanax. Everybody's put that all over my thing. But the fact of the matter is, that is what caused him to do what he did. But when he wasn't on this kind of stuff, or not on alcohol, anything like that, Greg was a genuinely nice and loving person that was loved by everybody that was surrounding him. So I would like to knock off the conspiracy theory. His family would really love no one to refer to him as a troll anymore. And for those of you guys out there that are trolls that hung around Greg and want to call him that, you guys need to all grow up. Figure something else out to do with your life. Figure it out that maybe you do cause people some harm. You know, you haven't ran me off yet, and you never will, but you ran a lot of people off the internet because you guys want to be ignorant. So if you guys are truly friends of Greg and you call yourself a troll, why don't you guys honor him correctly and knock the stuff off? No one can judge him unless you take the walk I just did. And I'm certainly not going to judge anybody. But no one else but me, from what I understand, has even reached out to his family. And I'm not talking about writing a little bit of rest in peace Greg on his memorial wall. I specifically ask, has anybody else written you? Has anybody else offered a phone number? Has anybody else come out? Has anybody else offered to come out? And nobody has. So I will say this, if you guys truly care about Greg, get a hold of me if you want to just say hi to his sister or hi to his mom. I can put you in contact with them. They really need that right now because the fact that they have a loss and their life is not going on the way that it should right now, and it won't for a long period of time. So to the Wegener Parker family, because his sister's name is Parker, I say thank you very much for allowing me to come out, be a part of your lives for a week, and letting me have more insight of your loved one, Greg Wegener. I do know, and you've expressed to me many times over, that Greg was much more than what we knew him as a video game player, and I humbly agree. He was actually a great person that I wish I had the opportunity to sit down with across in a chair and just to brainstorm and talk with him, because I feel like he would have been a wealth of knowledge and information for me on many different things. So again, thank you guys very much. Now the Wegener family and the Wegener Parker family has become like a part of my family, and I treat them as such. This will not be the only trip that I make out there. In the first part of the year, sometime around January, February, I will be going back to Mobile, Alabama to spend more time with them because everything that I wanted to do and talk to them about and get across, it just could not happen in the week that I was there. So guys, I hope this gives you a little bit more insight on who Greg Wegener was, and hope you guys feel a little bit better about who the person that he was and know that he was not an evil, mean-spirited person. This will be the last video that I do make on Greg, and I do hope that Greg, if you're looking down on all of us, man, rest in peace. We all miss you, and save a seat for me when I get there. You guys know how to reach me, CenaCorner.com, Twitter, Cena5401, Facebook /Cena's Corner 5401, or I'm sorry, Cena's Corner 1101. All right, guys, until next time, peace, love, keep rocking out, and I'll catch you guys the next time.